Before we begin, I want you to do something for me. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and whatever you do, don't look away from the screen. Welcome to Beyond the Shadows. I'm your narrator, and tonight I'm going to tell you a story about a man who stopped trusting his own mind. A story about paranoia, obsession, and something watching from inside the television static. This is The Man in the Static. Daniel Marsh was a quiet man, 34 years old, lived alone in a small flat in Manchester, worked from home as a data analyst. His life was, by every measure, ordinary. He had no enemies, no drama, no history of mental illness. He had a television, an old CRT set, the kind with a thick back and a glass screen that would glow even when turned off. His grandmother had left it to him. He kept it out of sentimentality, even though it barely picked up a signal. Most nights, it just showed static. White noise, gray fuzz, the sound of nothing. And Daniel, he liked it. He said it helped him think. He'd leave it on in the background while he worked late into the night. The static became his companion, his constant. That was his first mistake. It was a Tuesday in November when he first saw it. He'd been staring at spreadsheets for 6 hours straight. His eyes were tired. His coffee was cold. He looked up at the television just to give his eyes a rest, and in the gray churning static, he saw a face. Just for a fraction of a second, a pale outline, 2 dark hollows where eyes should be, and a mouth slightly open. He blinked. It was gone. He told himself it was nothing. Eye strain. Pareidolia, the human brain's tendency to find faces and random patterns. He was a data analyst. He believed in rational explanations. 3 nights later, he saw it again, this time for longer. 3 full seconds. The face in the static. Clearer now, more defined. The hollow eyes seemed to be looking directly at him. The mouth moved. He couldn't hear what it said over the hiss and crackle, but it was definitely moving. Daniel grabbed his phone and started recording. When he played the footage back, the screen showed nothing but static. No face, no outline, just gray noise. He began keeping a journal, logging every time he saw it. Date, time, duration, description. Because that's what rational people do. They document, they find patterns, they solve the problem. By the end of the first week, he had 11 entries. He tried unplugging the television. The face appeared in his bathroom mirror instead. Just briefly, just long enough to know it was there. Standing behind his reflection, looking over his shoulder. He spun around, nothing. He smashed the mirror. His friends started to notice the change in him. He stopped answering calls, stopped going out. He covered every reflective surface in his flat, mirrors, windows, the black screen of his laptop. He said he was going through something, that he just needed space. What he didn't tell them was that he'd started hearing the static even when no television was on. A low, constant hiss at the back of his mind, and sometimes, buried deep within it, a voice. Week 3. Daniel had not slept more than 2 hours at a time. He'd become convinced of something that would sound completely irrational to anyone on the outside. But to him, after everything he'd seen, everything he'd heard, it was the only explanation that made sense. The man in the static was not a hallucination. He was a message. Daniel started watching the static obsessively, hours at a time, unblinking, taking notes on every flicker, every pattern, every shape that emerged from the noise. He filled 3 notebooks. The handwriting started neat, and by the final pages, it was barely legible. He believed the man was trying to warn him about something. About what? He didn't know yet, but he was close. He could feel it. On the 23rd night, the face appeared for a full minute, and this time Daniel could read the lips, drop to near whisper. It said, "Look behind you." Daniel didn't turn around. He was too afraid of what he might see. He sat completely still, staring at the static for 6 hours. When morning came, he finally worked up the courage to turn around. The room was empty, but on the wall behind his chair, written in what looked like dust and shadow, were the words, Daniel Marsh was found by his sister 2 weeks later. He was sitting in front of the television, the old CRT set, still on, still showing static. He was alive, physically unharmed, but he wouldn't speak, wouldn't look away from the screen. His eyes never blinked. The doctors called it a catatonic episode brought on by severe sleep deprivation and psychological breakdown. His sister took him to a care facility. She packed up his flat. When she came to collect the television, she looked at the static for just a moment, and for just a moment, she thought she saw a face. That night, just to have some background noise. She said it helped her think. That's the story of Daniel Marsh, a rational man, a quiet man, a man who simply looked too long into the noise and let something look back. Thank you for stepping into the shadows with me tonight. If this story found its way under your skin, subscribe, turn on notifications, because the darkness has more stories to tell. I'll see you in the next shadow.